for Donkey of the Day.
Donkeys of the Day, ask Charlamagne.
I'm a Democrat, so being Donkey of the Day is a little bit of a mixed blessing.
So like a donkey. Hee-haw. Okay. Donkey of the Day. The Breakfast Club, bitches.
Now, I've been called a lot in my 23 years, but Donkey of the Day is a new one.
Wow. Tommy, Donkey of the Day for Monday, August 29th, goes to everybody upset that San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick decided to take a stand by not standing for the national anthem at a game. Now, why didn't Colin Kaepernick decide to stand for the flag of this great country we live in? Well, I'm going to let him tell you.
I mean, ultimately, it's to bring awareness and make people, realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust, people aren't being held accountable for, and that's something that needs to change. That's something that, this country stands for freedom, liberty, justice for all. And it's not happening for all right now. I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. To me, this is something that has to change. And when there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people. That's not right by anyone's standard.
Drop one of Clues bombs for Colin Kaepernick. How could anyone be mad at that? I see everyone saying that Colin's stance was a slap in the face to our military and the veterans who fight for this country, but that's a bunch of malarkey. The flag doesn't just rep the military, it represents the system. And America is a business, and like any place of employment, when you promise your employees certain rights and don't deliver, the employees of that business have the right to speak out and demand what's promised in the fine lines of those employee handbooks, okay? Like Colin said, this country stands for freedom, liberty, and justice for all. And it's not happening for all right now. Keyword all. Now, this is what is bothering me a lot about this situation is when people like Tommy Lauren of The Blaze say things like, if this country disgusts you so much, leave. Others would die to be in your spot, you cocky child. See, I don't like that. It makes it seem like just because you have money, because you're successful, you should say F it and not care about what's going on with the rest of America. Just because I'm up, I'm just supposed to say screw everybody else? How many times do I have to tell y'all and remind y'all of the words of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? An injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. People in positions of power with money and influence should be the ones speaking because when they speak, people listen. Colin said it best. This is because I'm seeing things happen to people that don't have a voice. People that don't have a platform to talk and have their voices heard and affect change. End quote. He's absolutely right. The poor and disenfranchised in any ghetto USA can scream at the top of their lungs about police brutality, racial discrimination, and whatever other oppression they facing in the hood, and nobody will listen. They can tweet, post on IG, Snapchat, all that good stuff, and nobody will hear them. But when somebody like Colin Kaepernick takes a stand, it's all over the news. This is what we want our athletes, entertainers, and anybody in a position of power to do. Use your privilege to combat prejudice. TJ Yates, who is a free agent in the NFL, tweeted out, "It blows my mind how many people hate the country they live in." So let me get this straight, TJ Yates. You think Colin Kaepernick protesting against the hate that happens to people in this country is actually him hating on the country he lives in? No. What Colin Kaepernick is doing is exercising his right to protest. He's exercising his right to freedom of speech. And those are constitutional rights that he has as an American citizen. And I applaud that man for doing this because he has nothing to gain and everything to lose. The easiest thing to do when you're successful in life is forget about those who may be going through it. But Colin is smart enough to know his money, his status mean nothing because as long as he's a person of color in America, he can still get profiled and brutalized like anybody else. Colin Kaepernick isn't throwing a middle finger to patriotism. He's throwing a middle finger to prejudice. And if you, as an American, love America but have a problem with a person demanding justice for a group of people, demanding equality for a group of people, demanding the constitutional rights that are promised to this group of people under the laws of America, if you have a problem with that, then maybe you're one of those patriotic, prejudiced people who love America but not all the people in it. Please give all these suckers upset that Colin Kaepernick is taking a stand the biggest hee-haw, please. Please. All right.
The Breakfast Club.